Trump takes power. I don't think so.
Feet on the ground. Not backing down.
Are you ready to fight? Are you ready to march?
I am nasty like Susan, Elizabeth, Eleanor, Amelia, Rosa, Gloria, Condoleezza, Sonia, Malala, Michelle, Hillary.
Welcome back to The Lead. We've been covering these massive marches for women's rights across the country today with many celebrities and politicians lending their voices. Joining me now is one of today's speakers at the Washington, D.C. March, director and activist Michael Moore. Michael, thanks so much for being here. How much are these marches about Donald Trump, and how much are these marches about larger issues of immigrant rights, LGBT rights, women's rights, etc.?
Well, they're not separated because Trump has joined them together. Definitely and obviously this is about Donald J. Trump and the fact that the majority of Americans did not vote for him. Not just the 3 million more that voted for Hillary, but also there's another 7 million that voted Green and Libertarian. So there's 10 million people that voted that didn't vote for him, that didn't want him as president. And the almost million, it's so hard to tell how many were here.
We have no idea.
We couldn't do the march because, I mean, I was up at the stage and it's like, it went all the way back to the Washington Monument from near the Capitol here. And I think symbolically, just as I was leaving to come to you, they were going to turn and march 3 steps because there was no room to march. There were so many people. And I'm sure you've heard the reports from around the country that have come in. 100,000 in Seattle, 100,000 in Denver. So if there were nearly 1 million here, 1 to 2 million in the 300 marches around this country, there's never been a day of demonstration like this in the history of the United States.
Just as policy, CNN doesn't support any crowd counts.
Right.
But a lot of people
we
were
agree
here.
that it's...
A lot of people were here. So
it's massive.
But here's my question. Is it possible, you're somebody that before the election was telling me that you were terrified that Trump was going to win Michigan, was going to win Wisconsin, was going to win Pennsylvania.
And Ohio.
And well, we all knew he was going to win Ohio, but those other 3 were surprises.
Yes, the Brexit.
And you were right. Is there a risk in this march, just to play devil's advocate here, is there a risk that you're like alienating these voters that Democrats need to win back? The Johnny Lunch Buckets in Michigan who think that Donald Trump's going to bring jobs back.
Yeah. That's an excellent question, actually, not a devil's advocate question. Number one, I don't know if the Democrats as we've known them, the old guard, I don't know if they can win them back right now. That's part of the problem, and I addressed it in my speech today at the rally, is that the old guard of the DNC has to go. We need new blood. We need young people. We need fresh ideas. In my opinion, we need Keith Ellison as the DNC chair, but this can't continue. I mean, Jake, twice in 16 years, twice, the Democrat who won, got the popular vote, didn't go into the White House.
Yeah.
That is not going to happen again in my lifetime. I've had it, and I think the people have had it, and so, but to win back Michigan and Wisconsin and places like this, we need a different Democratic Party to begin with. And I got to tell you, I think Trump will try to do some things that will look good, that will sound good, but eventually won't actually better the lives of the working class people in the Rust Belt.
So my job is kind of to rain on parades, right? So let me just ask you some more questions, literally in this case.
It would be impossible for you to rain on my parade.
So successful march, but one of the issues when you talk to Democratic officials and Democratic operatives in places like Ohio is the Democrats have this thing on LGBT rights, women's rights, African American rights. That's the Democrats win those votes. The problem is that Stronger Together, I'm paraphrasing what one Ohio county chair, Democratic county chair said, Stronger Together conveys all you care about is a diversity. Meanwhile, there are people and I don't need to tell you this, there are people in Michigan who are like, I need a job. My job went away, and the Democrats and the Republicans both were responsible, both parties were responsible for shipping those jobs away.
That is correct.
Donald Trump's talking to me. He's talking about these trade deals. He sounds like Michael Moore on the trade deals. And that's what I care about.
Right.
Not that they're against the diversity or against the women's rights.
No, they're not.
But this wasn't about jobs. This wasn't about dignity for the voters who the white working
Yeah.
class voters.
Well, first of all, there were so many people there from Michigan today. I mean, there was a whole Michigan march that started at 8 a.m. that marched for 2 hours before the 10 a.m. thing. All Michiganders. The people of the state of Michigan, as you accurately described the situation, that need work, need jobs. That's also what Bernie Sanders said he would do.
Yeah.
And who won the state of Michigan?
Yeah.
And who won the state of Wisconsin?
Right,
A man by the name of Bernie Sanders.
Right.
Who won the state of Minnesota? Bernie Sanders. I mean, I don't want to replay the election at this point.
Tough not to, though, huh?
Well, but it's hard not to think. I think a lot of people think this. I know Hillary supporters. I mean, I supported her in the general election. Believe that it was clear the people wanted change, and in these 3 states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, if you put the difference between Hillary and Trump, the difference that she lost by, it doesn't fill the stadium in Ann Arbor. When you could, all 3 states
Very
combined.
narrow. What was it, 10,000 votes in Michigan? Something like that.
10,000 in Michigan, 77,000 total between Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
I guess my point is, again, I'm not against the march. I don't have an opinion on the march, but if you're looking to 2020 or even 2018, does this message help you guys get power back in Congress?
Okay, you're talking long game. There's a short game, too. We're not talking about 2018 necessarily right now. We're talking about Monday. Monday, fellow Michigander Betsy DeVos must not be in charge of the Department of Education. We know her in Michigan. We know what she's done to support the destruction of our public school system.
So it's about building a movement for action.
It's a whole movement, and it is building, and it will be there. It will be vocal. People are going to get involved. This is not just some picnic here to show up for the. Seriously, I have never seen. I've been to a lot of. I was at the counter inaugural to Richard Nixon, right out here. It was nothing like this.
Yeah.
This was something, and I couldn't tell from the stage, but 70 to 80% of the crowd had to be women. I mean, it was an amazing thing. I'd never seen anything like this in my lifetime. And they're going to go back home, and they're going to organize, and they are going to let their members of Congress know that we're not going to tolerate any of the things he's going to do, and we're going to send the message to the Democrats: new blood, a new day here. This cannot be the old way. And I think we have to do essentially what the Tea Party did to Republicans.
Primary them.
We are definitely going to primary them. We are going to run progressives in these congressional districts. If they don't stand up to Trump, if they don't start fighting for these things that you mentioned, these jobs that we need, if they keep pushing these trade deals that have hurt my family and the people that I know and love and grew up with, they are not coming back into office. And we're talking in Michigan though, Jake. It was 2 votes per precinct.
I know. It was a narrow loss.
Trump, just two Trump
But it
voters
wasn't, just to be fair, just so you don't feel horrible about Michigan, even if she had won Michigan, he still would have won. I mean,
because he would have had Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. But if those 3 states, those 77,000 votes, well, you see the anger and the frustration, but trust me, it's not just against Trump. It's against the party that's also let us down, and that has to change. And I know some of these officials are watching this right now, and they're not liking me saying this, but that's just the truth. I'm sorry, folks.
Tough Snuggies, you heard Michael Moore. Thank you so much. Good to see you, sir.
All right.
Always good to have you here. President Trump just finished up his first visit to the CIA. Will he back off his battle with the intelligence community, or did he just pick a new fight? That's ahead. Plus, our coverage of the Women's Marches continue. You're looking at live picks from across the country. Stay with us.